Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
This is Professor Neelam Panchal from Gujarat University, and I welcome you all in this session on decision making process and types. Friends, let me introduce you to the topic. A decision is selection made between two or more alternatives. Decision making is the process of selecting the best alternative for attaining objectives. Managers make decisions affecting the organization daily and communicate those decisions to other organizational members. Some decisions affect a large number of organizational members, cost a lot of money to carry out, or have a long term impact on the organization. These significant decisions can have significant impact not only on the management system but also on the career of the manager who makes them. Other decisions are relatively insignificant, affecting only a small number of organizational members, costing little to carry out, and producing only a short-term impact on the organization. Four basic criteria that can be used to determine the nature of the decision and also the level of authority that should be taken into account. So, that includes the impact on the futurity in the decision, the impact of the decision on the whole organization, the number of factors involved in the decision, and the occurrence of the decision, whether infrequently or continually then. Let me explain you the objectives of the session. The objectives of the sessions are to make you understand the types of decision, to explain you the approaches to the decision making, to analyze different steps in the decision making, and to analyze when to use which type of decisions, and also to analyze the impact of different type of decisions in various organizations. Let us understand decision making process. Friends, flipping a coin, throwing a dart at board, pulling a slip of paper out of a hat, then sure, they are always ways to make a choice, but they all hang on a random chance rather than analysis, reflection and a strategy. You know the things you need to make the big meaty decisions that have major impacts. Let us walk through the standard framework for the decision making process. So, here you can look into what is the process involved. Now, we can say that the process helps the organization pinpoint the problem, consider your options and make your best informed selection. Here is a closer look at each of the 7 steps of the decision making process and how to approach each one. Let us try to understand steps of the decision making process. So, the first is identify the decision. Most of us are eager to tie on a superhero caps and jump into the problem solving mode, especially if your team is depending on a solution. But you can't solve a problem until you have a full grasp of what it is. The first step focuses on getting the lay of the land when it comes to your decision. What specific problem are you trying to solve? What goal are you trying to achieve? How to do it? So, use the 5 whys analysis to go beyond surface level symptoms and understand the root cause of a problem. Try problem framing to dip into the ins and outs of whatever problems your team is fixing. The point is to define the problem, not to solve it. Second stage is gathering information. So, your team probably has a few hunches and best guesses, but those can lead to the knee-jerk reactions. Take care to invest adequate time and research into your decision. This step is when you build your case, so to speak. Collect the relevant information, that could be the data, the customer stories, information about the past projects, feedback, or whatever else seems pertinent. You would use that to make the decisions that are informed rather than impulsive. How to do it? So let's say host a team mind mapping session to freely explore the ideas and make connections between them. It can help you identify what information will best support the process. Create a project poster to define your goals and also determine what information you already know and what you still needs to find out. Third step is identify alternatives. Blame the popularity of the coin toss, but making a decision often feels like choosing between only two options. Do you want heads or tails? Door number 1 or door number 2? In reality, your options are not usually so cut and dried. Take advantage of the opportunity to get the creative and brainstorm all the sorts of the routes or the solutions. So there is no need to box yourselves in. How to do it? So, use the 6 thinking hats technique to explore the problem or goal from all the sides. Information, emotions and instincts, risks, benefits and creativity. It can help you and your team break away from your typical roles or mindsets and think more freely. Try brain writing so team members can write down their ideas independently before sharing them with the group. Research shows that this quiet lone thinking time can boost psychological safety and generate more creative suggestions. Next step is consider the evidence. Having your list of alternatives, it's time to take a closer look and determine which ones could be beneficial. So you and your team should ask the questions like, how will this solution address the problem or achieve the goal? And what are the pros and cons of this option? Be honest with your answers and written them with the information you already collected when you can. Remind the team that this is not about advocating for their suggestions to win, it is about whittling your options down to the best choice. How to do it? Use a SWOT analysis to analyze the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats of the options that you are considering. Conduct a project trade-off analysis to determine the constraints such as time, scope, or cost the team is most willing to compromise if necessary. Next step is choose among the alternatives. So this is the moment when you and your team make the decision. You have identified all possible options, analyzed the evidence, and you are ready to choose how you will move forward. However, be aware that there is still a considerable amount of room for flexibility here. Perhaps you will modify an alternative or combine a few suggested solutions to locate the best solution for your problem and your team. How to do it? So use the DACI framework, which is referred to as driver, approver, contributor, informed, to comprehend who ultimately has the final decision in the hands. And the decision making process can be collaborative, but ultimately someone must be able to make the final decision. Use a simple voting method for the decisions that are more democratic. You will simply vote your team's votes and go with the majority. Next step is take actions. So it takes a lot of effort to make a big decision, but it's only the beginning of the process. Now you need to implement it. So next step is looking into taking the actions. It is tempting to believe that the decisions will be made once they are made. However, particularly in a team setting, it is crucial to invest in a significant amount of thought and planning to communicate the decision and successfully implementing it. How to do it? So create a stakeholder communication plan to determine how you will keep multiple individuals, direct team members, company leaders, customers, or anyone else who has an active interest in your decision in the loop on your progress. Define the goals, signals and measures of your decision so you would be able to align the team around the next steps and determine whether or not they are successful. Next step is review your decision. So, as the decision begins to deteriorate, it is the time to examine the review mirror and reflect on how things went. Did your decisions work the way you and the team hoped? What happened? Examine both good and the bad. What you should be aware of when you need to make this decision again. How to do it? So, do a 4Ls retrospective to discuss what you and team loved, loathed, learned and cherished as a result of that decision. Celebrate any wins related to the decision. It provides morale with a good kick in the pants and it can help to make the future decision feel less intimidating. Now, let us try to look into the types of decisions. Friends, there are different main types of decisions that the organization needs to make. So, which are the decisions? Program and non-program decision, organizational and personal decisions. Third is a operational and policy decisions. Fourth is a opportunity and a problem solving decision. And then the routine and the strategic decisions. Research based and interactive decisions. Individual and a group decisions. Major and a minor decisions. Let us try to understand this word by word. Friends, programmed and non-programmed decision, this is the first type of decision. Programmed decisions are made in a structured situations. These decisions are generally structured and are concerned with the problems of the repetitive nature or routine types matters. A standard process is implemented for tackling such issues. Decisions of these types may involve the purchase of the raw material, granting a leave to an employee, supply of the goods to the employee and so on. These decisions are generally taken to the higher level managers. Non-programmed decisions are based on the difficult situations in which there is no easy solution. These actions are taken in unstructured situations. Non-programmed decisions are much less common than the programmed decisions. So, these are the non-repetitive and uncertainty involved in the decisions. These decisions are unique and intriguing. It requires imagination and creativity. These actions are taken by the top level managers. Intuition and experience contribute to making these types of the decisions. So, the non-programmed decisions relate to the difficult situations for which there is no straightforward solution. For example, establishing a new branch of an organization, decisions regarding the large number of employees' absenteeism, or providing the education in other medium of instructions, these are all non-programmed decisions. Now, the next category is the organizational and a personal decisions. So, when an individual decides an executive in the official capacity, it is referred to as the organizational decisions. The manager decides on the organization. The manager must decide on the organization to pursue organization's vision, mission and goals. So, the manager advises the employees on how to prioritize effort, which resources can be utilized and the delegation of the responsibility for the activities. So, when the individual decides his capacity, it is known as a personal or the individual decision. The individual's personal decisions are taken by the individual in his daily life. So, one must make a lot of decisions every day, from what to eat, what to wear, which stream to choose, which career to choose and so on. So, when individuals make the decision as an executive, it is an organizational decision. If the decision is made by an executive in his capacity, thereby affecting the personal life, it is an individual decision. So, the authority to make the organizational decisions may be restricted while the individual decisions cannot be restricted. Now, the next category is operational and policy decisions. So, decisions about various policy issues of the organizations, they are called the policy decisions. These are taken by the top managers and have a significant impact on the functioning of the organization. For example, decisions concerning the location of the school and the board of the school. These are the examples of the policy decision. Policy decisions are long term in the future. They influence and shape the direction of the entire business. They are usually made by the top level managers. The principal or the managers, for example, of the school, they must decide whether to offer education in a vernacular medium or provide it in an English medium as per the need of the society will be a strategic decision. Operational decisions are related to the day-to-day functioning or operations of the organization. These decisions are made by the middle or lower level executives. These decisions have long-term horizons as they are taken repeatedly. These decisions are based on the facts regarding the events and do not require a lot of organizational authority. An example could be used to distinguish these decisions. The decisions concerning the payment of the bonuses to the employees are the policy decision. Similarly, if the bonus is given to the employees, the calculation of the bonus concerning each employee is an operational decision. Other operational decisions are a calculation of the salary of each employee and calculating working days for the academic year. Next type of decision is opportunity and a problem solving decision. Many a times, decisions are taken by the manager to secure the opportunity. These actions are known as opportunity decisions. The manager is responsible for the development and the development of the organization is very important. So, managers make the decisions about both the issues and the opportunities, and they are trying to look into the undesirable situations and the desirable situations. So, if there is any emergency or the issue that occurs in the organization, then the manager must make a quick decision to exit that situation. These actions are known as the problem solving decisions. So, the manager must be a competent problem solver. Now, the next is routine and a strategic decision. So, routine decisions are related to the overall functioning of the organization. The decisions are arbitrary in nature. They do not require much evaluation and analysis and can be quickly taken. The other thing is strategic decisions that affect the organizational objectives and other important policy matters. So, these decisions usually involve large amount of money or funds. These decisions are taken after thorough analysis and evaluation of the numerous alternatives. These actions are taken by the top level managers. These decisions have a long term impact on the organization. So, we need to make sure that the manager must be strong advocate for making the strategic decisions. Strategic decisions anticipate the longer term and direct the company for its future. They tend to be at a high risk and a very high risk sometimes. So, they are complex and depend on the intuition supported by the information based on the analysis and the expertise. Now, the next category is a research based and the interactive decision. So, friends, research based decisions require a lot of evidence to be collected before the final action is taken. Now, these requires a lot of research to determine alternatives and assess the consequences of those alternatives. In the context of a crisis, the manager must undertake the lot of research to come out of that situation. Most of the time, it is the manager who makes the decision in the organization, but there are instances where the manager cannot make the decisions. He must consult and interact with the other team members in this situation. These are complex decisions, and interactive decisions are easier, faster, and can be more precise. The next category is a individual and a group decisions. So, when the decision is made by a single individual, it is known as the individual decision. Typically, routine type of decisions are made by the individuals within the broad policy framework of the organization. Group decisions are made by a group of individuals constituted in a committee. Now, this committee is generally referred to as a very important and pertinent matter for the organization. The main objective of making the group decision is the involvement of a large number of individuals in the process of decision making. For example, decisions regarding next visit to the college. Now, that can be in the groups and the suggestions, opinions, and the opinion of the faculties that can be taken in a group decisions. The principal and the work will be assigned to different committees. Now, the next category of the decision is a major and a minor decisions. Major decisions are made by the top management, and the decision regarding the acquisition of the new land for a new branch of the school, it is a major decision. The decision regarding the purchase of the office stationery is a major decision that can be taken by the office superintendent. After understanding all type of decisions, let me summarize the session. Friends, we can say that the art of decision making is a very crucial skill that influences our daily lives, from personal choices to the professional strategies. Friends, understanding the balance between the intuition and analysis, recognizing the impact of the biases, and implementing a structured approach to navigate through options is very important. Thus, cultivating strong decision making skills is indispensable for anyone looking to navigate the challenges of the modern world with a confidence and understanding. In this session, we have tried to discuss the importance of decision making and the process involved. The four types of decisions making has also been discussed, and we have tried to cover all the important aspects of the decision making process. I hope you are clear with the understanding of the decision making process, and I hope you like the session. Thank you.